What's up, everybody? Welcome to Knockout Sessions. It's your boys, as always, Julio, Milton. Before we get started, click the link on the descriptions. We got the social media, Instagram, TikTok. Want to say thank you to everybody that keeps jumping up on the followings on there. Let's keep it going, guys. We appreciate it. Para la gente en español, porque van a querer saber qué pedo en este video. Allá en la esquina. I'm honestly nervous.
Talk to me, Julian. Talk to me.
You know, like, have y'all ever had this feeling of like your wife is pissed about something, and you come home and you're like, do I want to talk about it? Do I not want to talk about it? I know I'm not going to agree with what she says.
I put it in his face. I made sure he knows what I want to talk about.
I have an enraged wife, but we're here to air out our conversation live and in charge in front of all y'all. So please hit the bell, hit the like, hit the subscribe, because we're here to talk boxing cheese, man, as always.
Yeah, so this weekend, one of the biggest fights that could have been made in this time frame, because we had at one point number one pound for pound, and it kind of interchanged between over the time. At one point it was Crawford, at one point it was Canelo, and then right there number two, it was either Crawford or Canelo. But at some point, both of those guys shared the pound for pound list as 1 and 2, right? Years ago, nobody would have ever thought that this fight was going to happen, right? At the time frame, Crawford, it was like at 147. He didn't really want to entertain the idea of like even moving up at some point. Canelo thought that Crawford was too small, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward a couple of years.
Well, Dan.
That's what it says. Fast forward a couple of years.
I know.
What?
Say it.
What?
Daddy Turkey.
No, not even just Turkey, right? I think as Crawford has gone older, right? Not only did he settle in at 147, I think at some point when he made the jump to 154, the idea of jumping just those additional 20 pounds kind of just makes sense, right? Like he probably felt good at 168, and suddenly the idea of what if I do something great and I freaking move up 3 weight classes? You know, I won 2-time undisputed already. What if I go for the third one? What if I cement myself as one of the greatest of all time?
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what Crawford did this weekend. He went up and he showed out.
2 divisions he went up.
Fine, 2, whatever. Point being is, there's always this argument about what does it mean to be number one pound for pound, right? It literally, like, a lot of people have different definitions of what it means. I've always said my definition means it doesn't matter if you weigh 108 or you weigh 200. Your skill sets will essentially, what would be the word I'm looking for?
The body of work.
The lobotomy.
The body of work.
Your skill sets go along with you no matter what weight class you are, right? Like your skill sets are so great that no matter what weight class you were in, you would be great. And I think that's what Crawford showed, that he is the definition of pound for pound great, right?
It's the cruiserweight division. Cool.
Here you go. Yeah, because Usyk was the guy who did that, right? So big shout out to Crawford. Huge shout out to Crawford, right? Amazing shout out to Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Julian?
So before we get really started here, that was a good little introduction. I know where this is going to go.
We're right here.
We here, but I know it. It's coming.
No, like we're gonna dissect everything.
Walking with you is like walking on thin ice. Like I'm trying to hold your hand here, but I'm like it's gonna implode at some point. It is a toxic relationship with this man. So, in my opinion, like he pretty much hit a lot of the bold points on it. Congratulations to Terrence Crawford. He absolutely proved once again that no matter what level of competition it comes to, he rises to the occasion. He made Spence look absolutely silly. He made Canelo look almost vulnerable in some rounds. Whereas like other fighters never even outboxed Canelo, especially at 168. Like he is the first person at 168 to make Canelo look human. Because for a long time, everybody thought Canelo was Superman. And he absolutely pretty much was.
I gotta spit it out. The people are like in a row. I want to hear.
Before I get really into it, I want to say that I respect. We were just talking about this. I respect Crawford's humility. Because I saw that in the post-fight press conference, he actually gave the belts back to Canelo.
Yep.
And he said, basically acknowledging that you were the king for so long. These are still your belts.
Yep.
It's just that I challenged the throne. Now, it takes a big man to do that. And then Canelo himself went on a press conference and he said he was asked about the level of competition. He acknowledges that Crawford is better than Mayweather. That I don't think he's saying that as a jab to Mayweather. I think he genuinely believes Crawford's skill sets are better than Mayweather's.
Essentially giving the idea that if Crawford and Mayweather would have been in the same era, Crawford would have been the guy.
Prime for prime.
Yeah. And look, this is one. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I mean, you were probably going to add to that.
Kind of, but I mean, I was going to start pivoting.
We're not. I don't want to yet. I don't want to yet.
That's what I said. Go ahead.
I'm trying
go ahead. I know. That's what I'm saying.
I want to be your friend a little longer.
No, I don't need friends. I already have 0 friends. I don't need them.
Wow.
I don't need them.
You saw this, chat. You saw that. I've been officially dumped.
No, Julio gave up that fan card years ago.
I did not.
It's okay, guys.
I did not.
We stick around.
Now, before we get into the other part of the story, what's next for Terence Crawford?
So, in my opinion, what more does Crawford have to prove? Nothing, right? Like, and I've been hearing this a lot. Like, and even before, obviously, the fight happened, the conversation was, what if Crawford wins? What does that mean, right? And I think a lot of people are now saying, like, he is probably the greatest fighter of this generation, right? Where Canelo started with fucking Spencer. That generation of the early 2000s.
2015 and on.
Yeah, like the 21st centuries, right? As soon as because no matter what, most of these fighters started their careers in like the mid 2000s, 2005, and forward,
like late 08s.
Right? And so, one, for sure, everyone's already claiming this is the best fighter of this era, right? And the argument was between, Canelo, him, Usyk, right? And the way it's like he's still there, But as far as like popularity, obviously Canelo was at the top because not only was he making noise, but he was popular, selling out, big events. Even though Usyk's accomplishments are huge, he wasn't huge in America, right? Like all his accomplishments were in the UK. Many can say that boxing in the UK is even 10 times bigger. So, you talk to maybe people in the UK, are they going to feel the same way about Crawford when you have someone who's accomplished so much in Usyk? Because if you look at Usyk's resume is probably steeper than what Crawford's resumes are, right?
Yeah.
But and it's not Crawford's fault that maybe the amount of competition as he was coming up in the ranks and clearing out his divisions, right? They weren't as steep as maybe what Usyk did. But no matter what, you can't take away that from Crawford. No matter what, he's done 2 times what no other fighter has done. He was the first male 2-time undisputed. Now he's the first male 3-time undisputed. And the fact that he went up and took out the biggest possible man, like it would have been different. Like like if he would have, I don't know, Benavidez, Canelo vacated Benavidez was the undisputed champion. He took up the conversation would have been like, well, it wasn't Canelo, right? Like he took out the man that was like making noise all these years. So like no matter what, like he will always be known as this is the type of fighter that you look back and the way people talk about Mayweather, or you look back and the way people talk about all these elite level fighters, like Crawford is that guy. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, it's like, dude, just retire when you're on top. What more? Because I know that they were saying like, hey, Turkey, freaking, telling him in that weight class, like, hey, I want you to like, remember me, or I forgot what words he was using, to essentially giving Crawford the idea that, hey, if you're gonna win, remember that I gave you this opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, Crawford has nothing left to prove. Like, we're back in the conversation that we had with Canelo. Like, Canelo was at a point where it was like, dude, what more are you gonna do if not fight Benavidez?
Or Bivol.
No, exactly, right? So it's like, we're in the same conversation with Crawford. Like, who are you going to fight? All the young cats coming up? You got nothing to prove, bro. Like, these cats don't deserve whatever you're going to offer them, in my humble opinion, because it's going to come with fat paydays, right? It's the same conversations that everyone had arguing with Canelo. It's like, why are you giving all these cats? Let them figure themselves out, right? So it's like, what now? You're going to see if Benavidez wants to make 168 and fight? The only thing that proves is that you're going to do something Canelo didn't, right? But then you're weight draining Canelo, so people are going to not be happy, right? Yeah, absolutely. Benavidez, people are not going to be happy about that. So it makes more sense if Crawford were to move up. But exactly, right? Like, why do that? Why put yourself in that position and potentially, put yourself at risk of losing all the greatness you just proved? So to me, what's next for Crawford? Retire on top.
I mean, one would easily assume a Canelo rematch because Canelo was dominant for so long.
You're right. You're right about, does Canelo deserve a rematch? 100%, right? Why? Because what you just said. But if I'm Crawford, I got nothing to prove, right?
Yeah.
This would be more on the Canelo side. Hey, Canelo, what do you want to do now, right? But if we're talking about, well, Crawford, you're done, bro. Like, you did it, you achieved it. You got nothing more to prove. It's like, you want to do something for yourself to stay busy, okay, but like, why risk doing something stupid, right? Like, Crawford has been disciplined for all these years. Why keep pushing yourself now? And I'm not saying that Crawford looked like he's losing a step at all. It's not like Crawford is like, if he goes up to 175, like, he wouldn't be able to compete. But then that's what you really pushing yourself to see what you're capable of. And it's like, why risk it? No one's asking for it, so why risk it? I say just leave it alone. If Canelo's not asking for the rematch, why do you feel like you should?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I agree. I mean, there's really nothing on the horizon, and I wouldn't be excited about Crawford versus Benavidez at 168.
Yeah, me neither. It would make more sense if Crawford was willing to move up.
Yeah, but then again, we did say that the two weight jump was harsh on Crawford. Who knows? This man's greatness, like it extends.
Mm-hmm.
Which begs the next question: where do you rank? We talked about Crawford in today's era. Where does Crawford stand all time? I'm gonna give you a name. You're gonna tell me if he's past him. Manny Pacquiao.
Because they're different. Manny was 8 divisions.
The body of work. Which body of work weighs heavy?
Yeah, because Manny was 8 divisions, and Manny was fighting in an era where you had a lot of high elite fighters throughout the ranks, coming up. And see, it's different because it's different type of achievements. I don't know. See, that's it. Already it's hard to say, is he better than Manny? Is he better than Mayweather? I don't know. Does he deserve to be in that conversation? 100%.
Is he top 15 all time?
I think so.
Top 10.
Who would be your top 10?
Well, I'll throw no order exactly. There's too much work for that. But I'm going to throw some names out there. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., mm-hmm. Canelo. Oh, Senior. Good catch.
Yeah, Junior.
He's the GOAT for a different reason. Senior. I'm sorry.
That guy's like living rent free in your mind.
Hey, he's out now. Good for him. Senior. Manny Pacquiao, obviously.
Based on those names, I think so. I think he deserves to be in those top 10 conversations.
So Mount Rushmore is where we start cutting the line.
Yeah.
Because he never hit the mainstream markets like a Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, because on top of that, it's like, I think to overcome like those Rushmores is not only what did you accomplish,
it's who were you.
It's your resume, and a lot of these top guys were really fighting nonstop, high elite fighters, and everyone criticized Crawford coming into the fight because of that. It's like, yes, your skills are there, but you never really showed it at the highest level. On top of that, Crawford was not fighting in stadiums or big events until the Spence fight. Honestly, like everything before that, like, bro, when I met Crawford a couple of years ago, he was literally just walking down the strip in Vegas,
and no
like
attention.
Normal, like, and no attention, just because again, I happen to be a fan, which is funny because I'll send Julio the video so he can put the picture here. I was actually wearing the Canelo hat when I said what's up to Crawford 4 years ago. The irony.
You were planting the seeds.
Yeah, the irony and all that is crazy. But this man was literally just walking down the strip like normal. No, everyone was walking past him, right? Like, I said hi to him. I took a picture with him, and even then, people didn't even stop and like ask, "Who is this?" Right? Like Crawford was walking around. You try to do that now, I promise you, Crawford can't walk anywhere, without being known. But it's like we're talking about in his last 3 fights compared to a lot of like you see Manny in his prime, like Manny was already famous. You see Floyd in his prime, Floyd, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta kind of put everything into
Even
perspective.
somebody like Chavez Sr. will hit the mainstream market because Mexico pushed him to that level.
Exactly. So it's
America
like
didn't push Crawford to that level.
exactly. So it's like, did his skill sets prove
They
that
push him now.
Yeah.
Now they
Did his
do.
skill sets prove that he deserves top 10 all times? Yes. But there's a lot of other factors that come into play with resumes, popularity, and just movements of a lot of these fighters of how they move, marketing. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the thing we're talking about right now is that Crawford's never been flashy. He's never been a shit talker either, unless provoked. Because when provoked, he could definitely let it run.
Yeah.
But he's never been flashy. He doesn't wear the same like stupid ass glasses, Devin Haney. Like to every fight. He doesn't. He isn't showboating. He's kind of just like I think that word that he used in the press conference, BTA, belt to ass. That's his motto of like, I'm just an ass kicker.
Yeah.
Like that's his marketing. Is you put me in there, I'm gonna make you look stupid.
Yeah.
Like he's got that Michael Jordan mentality of like, I took that personally, I'm gonna whoop your ass now.
Yep.
And that's his marketing. A guy like me, who's violent in every kind of way of thinking like that, I respect it.
He's a teddy bear.
Shut your mouth up before I really start leading a rip on this conversation. So me personally, I think I can put Terrence Crawford definitely top 15. I would have to really dissect it for the top 10. Mount Rushmore, there's other factors there that Crawford just never hit. And it's not his fault. It's just that he wasn't appealing enough to the media market.
Yeah, which one of the criticisms that I saw from some of the news people that I kind of watch and stuff, that it's not Crawford's fault. The Top Rank kept him low key for so many years. Like Crawford should have maybe reconsidered re-signing with Top Rank long time ago because all the fighters that he needed to fight at the time were PBC. Right, so maybe Crawford should have been a PBC fighter.
He would have been a PBC killer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like instead of maybe Spence being the guy who was taking out all those PBC fighters, it might have been Crawford, right? But what it doesn't matter. I think no matter what, Crawford has earned his spot as one of the all-time greats. He proved it, and I go back to what I said. He doesn't have anything more to prove. I think at 38 years old, retire. Like, thankfully, you made generational money for your family. Like, dude, and you didn't have like major wars throughout your career. Like you're talking about, you can leave with a good body, healthy mind, money in your pockets. Like, dude, you did it. Like this is what most fighters want. Not only like take care of your body over the years, because this guy was only fighting once a year in the last like 5-7 years. Like he wasn't fighting 2 times a year.
And he just had like his hardest fight to date was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, this is what most fighters want, and it's like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just retire. I think this is a good time just to call it quits.
I agree. And if he wants to continue fighting, I don't blame him. That's just the animal in him, though.
Yeah. 100%.
And he's kind of built from that cloth. But, I mean, realistically, like we talked about, what's next for Crawford? I agree with the retirement. I mean, you really got nothing to prove. If you want to go for a rematch with Canelo, like how you said, that's on the Canelo side of things to kind of start handling that. Other than that, I mean, nobody else really deserves a shot. And guys like Munguia, Berlanga, Plant would probably be an interesting fight, but stylistically, but realistically, none of them deserve a shot.
Yeah, and same thing in the undercard. We saw the Mbili versus Lester fight. Again, that goes to show, because that was probably besides the Canelo fight, the fight of the undercards, right?
Yeah.
And those guys are at 168. Like, those are the type of fights that these guys should be having to make noise for themselves, to start getting the next generation prep for who's next in that weight class. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, those guys are the next in line to fight the ones that Canelo already fought. The Plants, the Edgar Berlangas, the Shiraz dude, you know what I'm saying? Like the Jaime Munguia.
It's just that Crawford came to a division that's been depleted already by Canelo. So it's kind of like there's nothing left. There's scraps around you, and you took out the king.
Yep.
Like, outside of that, you can go to 160, like how you said, and you can go for a 4 division undisputed. That would probably put you in the top 5, just not there in the Mount Rushmore. But at 160, there's no appealing fighters either. I mean, there's some dangerous fighters, but there's nobody that I would say like,
no,
they're gonna back you up for that.
Right now, if anything, like going back down to 154, there's a lot of like interesting names right there. You got the Xanders, you got the Virgils, you got the Boots. You technically got Spence still there. You got the Fondoros, you got the Keith Thurmans, right? So it's like,
but even then, it's still like a tier below.
What you feel. Of course. So obviously, everyone's gonna be like, well, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the weight bully.
And the only one that kind of like we can say, fuck it, let's do it, is David Benavidez, but not in the right circumstances. It just can't happen. Yeah. We live in an era right now where Benavidez moved up, and any fight he takes at 168 is just going to be kind of a downplay.
Yeah.
Now,
let's flip the script. So Julio, let me ask you, Julio.
Okay.
Because I know you have a lot to say, and I'm over here playing defense. So,
right.
What does this fight mean for Canelo? What now? What did you see, and what is next? Please tell the crowd what you've been so anxiously calling me over 100 times for the past 2 days.
I was checking up on your health.
I'm fine. I'm healthy. I'm happy. Yes, I am.
What it means to Canelo, this fight. I think this fight, you know what, before I get into it, can I just say hallelujah that we have Max Kellerman back. Like, holy shit. And it was such a treat to have him and John Anik together, because I feel like I was watching The Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, oh, the best of both worlds are right there. And Max Kellerman touched on it perfectly. Canelo Alvarez has always been the guy to take risks. And let me get on this before, and I know you're going to want to interrupt me because you believe I'm on the other side of the fence on this. There's people out there that say that this was cherry picking gone wrong. It was not. What this was Canelo, and Max said it. He was the one that put everything on the table at risk. Sure, it was Crawford that was moving up, and he was one taking risk physically. But in a sense of aura and what was on the line, Canelo put his real estate on the line. Mm-hmm. And that has always kind of been Canelo's niche, basically, is that he's always taking fights, like you said, that he didn't have to. Like, he didn't have to let these cats come one at a time at the line, come at him, and let them figure it out. No, he went out and took one by one out. And so now that he's kind of, he's lost.
Yeah, and just to add on to what you're saying here is, because you used the word cherry picking gone wrong, right? It's like, this is what's never made sense to me, because everyone always comes back to, well, he's ducking Benavidez. And it's because I've always been a true believer that no matter what you say, I think what made the most sense was the trajectory that Canelo was doing made the most sense, because at the end of it, if Canelo would have won this fight, I honestly believe that the Benavidez fight would have happened next year. And this is when it would have made the most sense, because at some point he needed to pass that torch, right? So if he would have fought Benavidez and lost, it would have been huge, because he could have just accepted, like, Benavidez is the next guy up. Here it is, guys. Accept him, right? And Benavidez was already making his noise, right? Like, all that buildup would have made sense, instead of just beating him and then leaving Benavidez in the past, and like him not really being that exciting to the crowd. And it's like, I'm not saying that this is what Canelo thinks, because obviously I don't know. He's never. But this is what made the most sense. It's like, why would you avoid Benavidez for so long? Because it would have made sense that you wanted Benavidez to build his own name, build his own reputation, make his own achievements, and then pass it on if you beat him. I think that would have been the perfect game plan.
I think that's what was going on.
I think so. And it's like, how the fuck are you gonna call a Bivol and a Crawford a cherry pick, especially after he lost?
To me, a cherry pick is a John Ryder. You know what I'm saying? Like John Ryder gone. A Jaime Munguia losing to what the hell was his name?
Shiraz.
Well, no, the other guy.
Was Berlanga.
Yeah, Shiraz was Berlanga. It was
from France.
Well, Wilson or something like that. I don't remember. I can't even remember now. I can't.
Bruno.
Surazo.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are cherry pickings gone wrong. Canelo, to your point that you were talking about, I think first of all, I think there is some personal animosity between Canelo and Benavidez, on Canelo's side especially. I think he does look at Benavidez as like, you disrespectful piece of shit.
Okay, pause. Because before everything started, Benavidez used to speak very highly of Canelo, and it wasn't until Benavidez started feeling some type of way that
And his dad.
Yeah, that Canelo started taking, Edgar Berlanga, John Ryder, right, Jaime Munguia, that they really fucking went the other route. And so it's like in the beginning, like Benavidez was like he looked up to Canelo, he spoke highly of Canelo, right? It wasn't until they felt a certain type of way that they're being, ignored that he's flipped his switch and started talking smack. And now that just gave Canelo more reason not to want to fucking entertain him. But again, I feel like at the end of the day,
He was doing him a favor.
Everything was coming back to a full circle because who was going to be the last person that he needed to fight, and who would have been a perfect person to pass the torch to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, you were saying something, and then I just
that's actually what I was going to say. Is I think he was doing him a favor of like, you know what, you have beef with me, we can marinate it, and you're talking a lot of shit. Now I'm going to make you earn it. So if and when we fight, if it comes down to it, and you're the better man, I'll pass the torch to you at that point.
But now, I do want to say something, though, that you Delgados are saying that does not make sense to me. And this is, again, because you're saying, oh, you're such a glazer. I'm not a glazer. I'm just saying this doesn't make sense. That you guys started posting, the end of an era.
100%.
Right? It doesn't make sense because Crawford didn't come to finish Canelo off and continue what Canelo was doing. So how is it an end of an era? Now, did Canelo, like you said, lose? 100%. But like, if he fights next May against another high elite fighter and wins, how is that the end of an era?
So do you want me to explain to you what my perception of the end of an era is?
Please, because the people want to know.
10 years ago, and people bring this up, how Canelo lost his golden opportunity to take the baton from Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he did. He was 22, 23. He was too young for Floyd. When I look at Canelo's career,
that was 12 years ago.
No. So what I'm going to get to, though, I believe when I look at the body of work of Canelo 10 years ago, in November 10 years ago, he beat Miguel Cotto, and he was the last time ever he was the B-side in that fight. I think that, to me, was the passing of the torch. And not only did he still become the face of boxing despite Floyd Mayweather, but I think in a sense of like who you are as a fighter, how we talk about Canelo, about how he took risks, he wasn't scared, he fought them all. That's how we talked about Cotto. And I think Cotto saw something in Canelo like that, to where like, I'll give you the shot. And I think that's how Canelo is probably looking at Benavidez, like, I'll give you a shot. Because Cotto also marinated Canelo a little bit, because they were supposed to fight, I believe, in 2012 or 2013. And then, obviously Cotto lost to Austin Trout, Canelo got Mayweather, and then the next 2 years, he kind of had to revamp himself, and then eventually Canelo was made. I think that's how you were saying that, like, I think Canelo was looking at Benavidez as like, when it's time, I'll give you your shot. Mm-hmm. So to go back to what we were saying, that's 10 years of being the face of boxing, being the dominant champion that he was. I know he lost to Bivol, but I mean, when you don't eat protein, it happens when you're trying to move up in weight. That's my theory.
See, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense how that wasn't the end of an era, but now it is.
So
and it's only like two years removed.
This is where I'm trying to give like a career retrospective here. So we've had 10 years of Canelo being dominant. 2021 Canelo was a generational run. That Fool's 4 fights in 1 year. How we talk about Alex Pereira, how he's had a generational run. Canelo was doing the same damn thing. Like, this fool was collecting belt after belt. Like, he was just Thanos out there. Mm-hmm. I think that generational run was the last time we saw prime Canelo, because from 2022 and on, let's call it what it is. Like, he hasn't gotten a knockout. He barely gets any knockdowns. Like, he just looked like his style of fight wasn't translating anymore to the dominance that he was having before, prior to that. And so when I say that's the end of an era, he's 35 years old now. He looked frustrated. He looked gassed. He looked old. And I know he's the younger fighter between him and Crawford, but let's talk about the mileage. Canelo's had like 2-3 times the mileage that Crawford has had. Mm-hmm. He's gone to wars. Like, people forget that this is the same man that took out prime Triple G 2 times. He fought him.
3 times.
Well, 3 in total, but in prime Triple G, mm-hmm. It was 2 times. And then he also he had the fight with Cotto. He fought Uh, Daniel Jacobs, when Jacobs was like a top 3 middleweight at the time. So like he's done what he's got to do, but he looked phenomenal doing it because back then in his prime, he could survive off of 10, 12 punches around and give something like hard. In this day and age, especially against a fighter like Crawford, because Crawford has the exact same style as Bivol. It's the same style where it's like he's gonna outbox you, outslick you, and he's gonna counterpunch.
Mhm.
It's not like Floyd. Floyd was just a defensive fighter that's just gonna jab and kind of like pitter pat you and then make you look stupid. Crawford and Bivol have the exact same style of they're gonna move around and they're gonna beat the shit out of you in counterpunching. And Canelo, at one point, he was the greatest counterpuncher in the game. Now he in those kinds of style, he's the hunter. He's never been good as the hunter. But I'm also not seeing him good as a counterpuncher anymore either. Like he doesn't have the same pop that he used to have as a counterpuncher.
But to be fair, in this specific fight, though, it's like when Crawford, when Canelo was trying to make Crawford come to him, everyone was hesitant. Same thing happened with Bivol. Bivol didn't want to fall into chasing Canelo and risking getting
Because the
countered.
respect is always going to be there.
Exactly. So it's like and this is my big point with this specific fight. Now it's with people talking about again end of an era or the end of Canelo, and dude, we're talking about like Canelo has lost to 3 people. 2 of them we just talked about being top 10 all-time greats, right?
Bivol could be on his way.
That's what I was gonna say. And then Bivol is potentially moving there, depending on what he does moving forward.
His big brother, y'all.
Yes, hi cousin. And so it's like you're telling me that Canelo's 3 losses. Again, we're talking about potentially all-time greats, right? And again, going back to Crawford beating Canelo the way he did, it's like you're talking about a dude who, again, proves that he's this generation's all-time great, and like just because because I rewatched the fight twice just to just to make sure that I understood what you guys were talking about.
Okay.
And you look at the fight, dude, and it's like it wasn't like Canelo was completely washed as far as like okay, that's my point. It's like there was 2 factors that fucked him up in this fight, right? Number 1, the first 4 rounds, he let those go, right? And it's fine because it's typical Canelo. He lets those go, but those first 4 rounds, if he would have started engaging the way he did after between like the 6th and the 10th round, there could have been an argument that this guy could have probably potentially broken, Crawford down, because there was a couple points where you saw Crawford kind of slow down after feeling Canelo's power, right? But then you flip it, right? Now we're talking about Canelo's stamina. You look at the last 10, 11, 12 rounds, what happened? This was the first time that we've ever seen Canelo lose his legs. First time. I've never seen Canelo's legs wobbly the way they did.
Yeah.
And this was the first time, and that's what you're saying, hey, like, we saw old Canelo, and I agree. This was the first fight that I've ever seen Canelo look a little shaky, look a little wobbly.
And frustrated.
Nah, I saw him
with himself.
Nah, because even with the Bivol fight, he was frustrated. You look at the Triple G fight, he's just a fighter frustrated. You look at the fucking William Skull stupid ass fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
I forget that guy.
Yeah, he was frustrated. So frustration is not nothing new. His because even his stamina is nothing new, but his legs giving out, that is new. That is something.
I think
new.
It's just sad to watch,
No, it's not. It's part of life.
It's part of life.
Right.
And Canelo actually talked about that in the post-fight press conference. The reporter asked him, like, what was it about Crawford that was frustrating? He said, Crawford is just a phenomenal fighter. You kept giving Crawford his flowers. Mm-hmm. He said, what frustrated me was that my mind wanted to do one thing and my body wasn't going anymore. And hearing that, I'm just like, oh.
Yes, but even if he was saying that, I come back to a full circle where what frustrates me, and this is what everyone who hates on Canelo's legacy doesn't understand, is that it takes all-time greats to defeat this man.
Absolutely.
You put this man again next year against, your top level dudes at 168, he probably still has another 2 years before he'll have a random up-and-coming cat to beat him.
So Canelo, I agree. Canelo still beats about 90% of the boxers right now, pound for pound. Earlier, you alluded to it. We could get a Canelo Crawford rematch. Would I be mad at it? No, Canelo deserves it. The dude was the king of the division for years.
But do we want to see it? I don't want to.
I won't be against it. I just don't have. I think Canelo loses again. It's just the style.
It's the style, yes.
Canelo's not going to have any success against that style.
If anything, based on who Crawford is, he's probably going to beat Canelo a lot faster.
Because he's the boxer that can adjust more.
Yeah.
And that's where I go back to Canelo. His style just can't translate as he gets older. It's not sustainable because he never applied a jab to his arsenal, and he never what's the word? He always changed up like his diet, his routines. And I also understand like he had his baby recently too. He was talking about that. That could probably take a mental toll on a man, you know, especially because it's his fourth kid now. Like shit. What we know about kids, my boy?
Well, you know. But then this begs the question again. So what's next? What do we need to see?
I think the biggest losers in this outcome were Bivol. The biggest winner is Benavidez. I think now, if you're a Benavidez homer, you
have
should
a
be
reason
excited
to run.
because now there's a reason that Canelo might end up fighting Benavidez, because Canelo probably knows that he only has. First of all, he has 2 fights left. I genuinely believe after these 2 fights, he's going to retire.
That's what I said. This is the reason why I wanted to go to this fight, and you lagged. But that's not the conversation.
We can go to Saudi Arabia. Just can't take the women.
We'll talk about it, because maybe from now till then, we might start making a little moment.
But that's up to y'all.
Yes.
All 6 of y'all. I think if there was ever a time for Canelo Benavidez, it's right now. Because I think Canelo, it just here's the thing though, is that if Canelo does fight Benavidez, it's kind of like that Thanos saying is like, you could not live with your own failures. So where does that brought you? Back to me. Mm-hmm. And now it's like Canelo's still the A side, but we're treating Benavidez like he's going to be the A side at this point.
And that's fine, because even in this loss, and that's the conversation that I was going to bring up about what's next for Canelo. It's like, you want to rebuild, you got something to prove. What do you want to prove? Give the fans the fight that they've been asking for. And if you truly think that Canelo still has it and he's a man,
if he beats Benavidez after this,
that's what I'm saying. Because then what does that prove? Because everything that's happening in this yapping in social media is that you're taking away from who Crawford is. Instead of saying that Canelo is degraded and he's a nobody now, it's like, yo, why are we not talking about the older dude who came and defeated the younger cat who was on top of his game, right? It just proves that Crawford is that guy.
He's generational talent.
Correct. So it's like, and this is the reason why I don't think this whole end of an era and all this bullshit.
No,
I know what you're saying.
Me.
I know what
I didn't actually answer your question. Actually, I was giving plot points, but I didn't give you the final answer to it. Actually, when I say it's the end of an era, I think it's the end of. Is Canelo still the face of boxing? Yes, kind of. It's just that now he's lost the aura behind it, and when I say he's lost the aura behind it, it's kind of like people were waiting for Canelo's downfall for so long. Like Bivol, people gave him a pass because it's like he went up a division.
Exactly.
This is the one where it's like you lost to a smaller dude, you lost to a black guy. Come on, let's be real. Like we know how the boxing fans are. You lost to somebody who you were favored against, like every little thing against the book. But again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Canelo's always been the kind of guy to put his real estate on the line. It's every Canelo fight that he has, he's the one risking everything. The next fight, he's still the man risking a lot more than whoever he's going to fight. Canelo still has much more to lose than Benavidez, for example, would have to lose.
Yeah, because now him taking on Benavidez, if he loses, that is when I will say the era's over, right? Because now it proves it, right? Depending on which version you're talking about, right?
The era I'm talking about was the 168 championship.
Not just that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Because I depending on which way you want to hate on Canelo, because this is what it all comes down to. The people who are saying this are the people who want to hate on him.
If Canelo loses to Benavidez, then the caption's gonna be the end of the king.
That's fine, right? Like, I've never hated the idea of Canelo losing, my boy. Like, on the contrary, it's like, go for it, try it. Well, I just didn't believe Benavidez' style would be enough for Canelo to lose. That's all the argument was. But that doesn't mean that I was gonna fucking give up my hat like you would, just because
I didn't give up the hat. It's just that I've been saying. So
you literally said, "Wow, you have the
Canelo
audacity to wear that hat."
Is Canelo still in his prime?
No, obviously not.
That's what I've been saying. He's just not. Like, he's gotten old. Is he washed? Because a lot of Canelo haters say he's washed. I don't say washed to me, and you'll love this, is a Tony Ferguson.
No, that's way past expiration.
That's Clorox.
Yeah, washed. I would put it more in
like a Robert Guerrero or like a Victor Ortiz.
No, but let's talk about something current. Like a wash would be like, Jojo Diaz, right?
He's
that
wash.
Yeah, that's a wash. Like someone who refuses to understand that, my boy, your time is past, right? I would consider something like wash. And this is why we keep going back to this full circle. It's like what everyone's saying about Canelo being washed, the end of an era. It's like you're taking away from Crawford's achievement, right? Because I'm telling you.
Oh no,
that's what I'm saying. Because if we put another top contender at 168 against Canelo, I think Canelo still wins.
Still beats them all.
The only ones that are going to give Canelo a run for his money is if he's going to be stubborn and try to beat Bivol again, or we're back to a 50-50 fight with Benavidez, right? And it goes back to what you said. Him fighting Benavidez to gain something out of it, he's putting everything on the line, because then people are really going to 100%. They're going to take away everything he ever did from him, because he ended his career with the top two dudes finishing him.
But if he beats Benavidez, he could go out on his career.
And I would say retire, my boy. Just call it quits.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Now, that's just one. I know there's...
No, I said two. Bivol and Benavidez.
No, I don't think Bivol's a possibility. Bivol is for Benavidez to fold. The other fight that I know could possibly happen is Jake Paul.
Oh, no. I'll take my hat off at that point, because you cannot come off of a
I don't think
defeat.
it will be next, but I think if he loses to Benavidez and he still has that one fight.
Oh, dude, I'll take off my hat. I'm sorry. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot. You can do that after a victory, but not after defeats, bro. No, you don't need.
And if he was to lose,
you don't need that
Jake
type
Paul,
of. You don't need that type
of Crawford, Benavidez, and Jake Paul.
That would ruin his whole.
I agree.
Yeah, but I don't think that would happen.
I don't think it'll happen, but let's be completely honest. We can't rule it out the possibility.
No. And Jake Paul, like Gervonta already did that. He fucked his name up by fucking fighting him instead of a rematch. Like, what are we doing?
If I'm Canelo, and I'm going to try to think this the way Canelo does, I think based on his career, not that I know the guy, I think he maybe is thinking maybe rematch with Crawford, because he's stubborn. He still wanted the rematch with Bivol. And I think whether he wins or loses that, I think Benavidez is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And then win or lose, depending on how it goes, then not only can we say it's the end of an era, it's the end of the king. Because, again, whether we or y'all, because a lot of y'all Del Kitties out there like to admit it or not, Canelo, and Max Kellerman said that for the last 10 years, Canelo has been the best representative of boxing.
Yep.
That's it. And the dude is like, I know a lot of you Mexicans out there will say like, oh, he's a fachoso. Oh, he doesn't care about his country. I mean, neither do y'all. Like, let's just be real.
Oh, y'all living in America.
Voted for Trump. Like, y'all stupid. Canelo has always been about these things: his family, his business, and his glory. That's it. Like, he doesn't care about anything else. And he's done a lot for people, both in Mexico and the United States, and really around the world. So the fact that y'all just want to hate because y'all hate, especially like us Mexicans, that's cool. But whether y'all like it or not, Canelo will always be remembered on the same plateau as a Chavez Senior. So to me, when I say it's the end of an era, I just say it like in terms of his dominance in 168, because that 168 run, I'm telling you, my boy, is generational. Like, I haven't seen a divisional dominance like that since. I mean,
exactly, and
Usyk even Usyk didn't stand out like the way Canelo's did.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the Canelo's haters say. It's like, who will he cherry pick that division? Look, Delgado, you got to stop that.
Did we just go name?
Yeah, like you got to stop that, my boy. I get it. You don't like him. You drink his drinks and you support him. So, go sit down. I saw you drinking his shit. Stop drinking VMC if you're not about it.
VMC is so bomb. How can we we're not sponsoring it? We should. Canelo.
Did you see that video that says, ¿Qué significa el VMC? Vale madre el Canelo porque perdió.
I haven't seen that video, but I'm not surprised it's another bean dip.
Yeah.
Again, like we are our own worst enemy. But that's a different conversation for another time. To me, Canelo Alvarez, no matter what he goes from here, except for that one scenario that we talked about where it's Benavidez and then Jake Paul, he's higher than Oscar De La Hoya. He's higher than, this is going to be a hot take for y'all. He's higher than Manny Pacquiao.
In different ways, yeah.
In my opinion, when we say there's in sports, you always have that guy, the guy.
So you're talking about this now. So it's like, even if Canelo's career ended today, is he top 10 all time? Yeah, exactly.
I think he is.
I would say too, but then I'd be a Glazer, so I'm glad you said it first.
No, because I go based on
me too.
Resume.
Me too. I'm just saying. I'm not shy to wear his gear.
I have his gear.
No, you don't.
Remember when I wore his gear, you were pissed? I just don't wear it in front of you no more. It's really shy. His resume stacks up against the best of them. He's gotten generational names on his fucking name, on his resume. The hardware, y'all gonna hate this, especially you beaners. He's accomplished more than Chavez has, Senior. He's accomplished more than Chavez Senior has. He just doesn't have the reputation that Chavez Senior had. Chavez Senior was just your typical machismo with fucking running. I think he surpassed Manny. I think and this is a hotter take, he's accomplished more than Floyd Mayweather has. He's just not as big mainstream as Floyd Mayweather was.
He's bigger, that's why.
I can make an argument for him top 10 all time. And so for me, when I say it's the end of an era, it's in my view, it's my end of my era where I look at Canelo and I'm like, you are in your prime. From now on, I just want to enjoy the last two fights of Canelo. I don't care who he fights. He's done it all. He deserves to fight whoever the fuck he wants to fight.
Except Jake Paul.
Even if it's Jake Paul.
Not after losses, though. Not after losses. You can't do that to us.
But he deserves it.
Because I will never hear the end of that one.
When we get, so again, what I was trying to say earlier, in sports, we always have the guy who always goes out on a little bit of a retirement tour. Michael Jordan. On the Wizards, old Michael Jordan has still had his retirement tour, and nobody was mad at it. We just enjoyed the little time we had left.
LeBron, he refuses to freaking quit. It just cries.
But we are enjoying the last couple seasons. This could be the last season of LeBron James. And if he announces it, I can guarantee you that tour is going to be phenomenal. Those ticket sales are going to be crazy.
When Kobe retired,
with that tour, Tom Brady, when he was on his last year, we enjoyed those 16 weeks of Tom Brady. Right now, we have 2 fights with Canelo left. We need to just enjoy the man while he's still around, because he always gives us the fights that we want to see, except for David Benavidez. Yeah. And quite frankly, especially for Mexicans, he's the last hope y'all got.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta say this, because think about it. All y'all haters, just remember this. Who else are you gonna watch on a Mexican Independence or Cinco de Mayo? Who else are you gonna watch?
Sure, fucking gonna be Jaime Munguia.
My boy. Even though I don't understand how that my boy got freaking cleared from his PEDs and he's not suspended or anything. But hey, that's a conversation for whenever he comes back. We'll talk about that one. But at the end of the day, bro, he brought culture back after the Chavez. It's like, who else are you guys gonna watch?
Sure as fuck wasn't Marquez.
Yeah,
I mean, Marquez tried. I ain't gonna lie, I do like Marquez, but he tried. He wasn't even an A tier. He was a B tier fighter in terms of success.
Yeah, so it's like, you guys don't know what you got until he's gone. Even you, VMC Delgadito. I know you enjoyed drinking VMC on May and September.
I feel like he might shed a tear when Canelo retires.
I do too. I want to see him when he freaking does. Because in 5 years after Canelo's retirement, and they're talking about him, he's gonna be like, "Damn, you're right. Damn, you're right." But it's okay, dude. I don't want to ever see you wear a single hat of his.
For the haters, Canelo's gonna be like the ex that y'all kind of regret later on. You're like, fuck, She treated me.
He knows all about that. He knows all about that.
Leave that shit out. Fuck you. I'm just gonna let you have your fun. Like he's gonna be like the one that you look at and be like, damn, we've made some memories. Like there was times.
You will see me cry on this podcast when Canelo announces his retirement.
Well, I feel like you kind of like shed back some tears on Saturday.
I didn't. It's because I thought that was a great fight. It was a great, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because I truly felt, even when it was just hypothetical, like 2-3 years ago when we started our pod, the conversation came up and you guys all hated on me when I said, I think Canelo should fight Crawford. I was one of the first dudes on this pod that said, I think Canelo should fight Crawford. And you guys were like, nah. And I was like, I think it's great. I was like, they're 1 and 2. I've always was pro this fight. I just think that there was no real losers. I just hate the narrative that they're pushing.
Can I add something to that?
Oh, of course.
I know it's been a long video, but
no, it's not. This has been an interesting video.
The success and the backing that from now on you fans give Crawford, say thank you to Canelo for that. Because again, as we alluded to earlier, Crawford never had the following that he deserved for his talent, but now all of a sudden, ESPN and all that American media, like, oh, Crawford is so good. Shut your bitch ass up.
Andre Ward.
Like, he should be one of the last 2 names on Canelo's, goodbye tour. Like, from the success, the same success that Bivol found, whatever it was, whether it's here or in Europe, thank you to Canelo. The success that Crawford will probably have from now on, thank you to Canelo. Even to a degree, the name, the aura behind Benavidez, thank you to Canelo. Like, Canelo's so big, like, his fucking aura is, like, boosting other auras.
Yeah, because if it wasn't because again, Benavidez is his own man. He's going to create his own legacy. Obviously, whatever he achieves.
I think he's done a good job.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever he achieves, yes, it's to him. But the conversation of Benavidez started because Canelo's at 168. And think about it. Benavidez tarnished his own name twice. Cocaine, missing weight, right? Did he change the mentality? 100%, right? And but think about it. If like Canelo wasn't at 168 and Benavidez didn't have a big name to talk about, like the way he did with Canelo, it's like, would the Mexican American fans and the hardcore Mexican fans know about Benavidez and be after him? Because if they would, then why aren't more people behind Bam? Right? Like
Bam is 100.
You know what I'm saying?
Canelo fans, I'm gonna give y'all a little nugget that I do. This is why he says my card is expired or whatever. Because I jumped ship. Back up Bam Rodriguez. I know for a lot of you bean dibs, he's Mexican. All right, if y'all supported De La Hoya at some point,
yeah, literally,
when it was too late too. When it was too late, because in his prime, y'all hated him. Bam Rodriguez deserves every little bit of the backing that he deserves or can get. And I also agree Benavidez can be an ambassador of the Mexican American sport. But those are the 2 names that really you should get behind. And I know Bam's kind of like in the small weight class. I think he whoops anyways ass, and we'll get more in a little bit.
It's the same thing. That's where Pac-Man started.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you just never know. I mean, the cat's only like 24.
Exactly.
So, and Benavidez, he's getting to his prime years now. He's 28, I want to say.
Yeah.
Now. So, again, if Canelo does give Benavidez the fight.
Oh, that's going to... Now we might have that passing of the torch. Win or lose, low key.
I mean, yeah, because, if he beats Benavidez, first of all, yes, Benavidez will get every bit of the backlash he deserves. And Benavidez fans.
But then if you come back and you...
The Canelo route.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
The Canelo route. And it would just be poetic. It would just be poetic because maybe Canelo was a Mayweather, and maybe at some point Crawford will be the Cotto or somebody else. Who knows? But those are the things to look out for. So all in all, to kind of close this chapter here, until we see Canelo again, I just want to say we had a great generational run on 168. That's been my whole focal point, is that I love dominance. I know we didn't get the Benavidez fights, but you can't bat 100% at this point. Like, the dude still gave up. He retired Billy Joe fucking Saunders. He blasted his eye out. He had a fun fight with Caleb Plant. Like, there was fights that you just kind of... He even defended them against Triple G. He gave Triple G his check to go home, and Triple G still showed up to fight. He wasn't great, but he still kind of gave us, like, that little just drip of Triple G left.
Yeah.
So like all of that doesn't happen without Canelo.
Yep.
And that's my whole point is that Canelo has done a lot for the sport. I know we brag on him for just not giving the benefit, but one fucking fight doesn't really determine. Look at John fucking Jones. You still have meat writers that still go for him when he never gave Tom Aspinall a fight yet. Who knows? That's been the point.
Yeah. And to kind of pivot to a different direction here. So within this fight weekend, we had someone claiming that they were the next ones in line, right? And so now I love having this conversation with you because I know you love this conversation. On ESPN, we had Teofimo and Shakur doing an interview that wasn't even planned. Like they both just happened to be in the same building at the same time, and and they put them on screen. But it's one thing that I'll say: it's great to see these young dudes trying to put that hype behind themselves and saying like, "Hey, yeah, low key." Because Teofimo's always been, and see, this is why I've always liked Teofimo. He has bad marketing, from like promoters, but he knows how to market himself to a certain degree. But regardless, what I'm saying, like he's all in. And Max Kellerman told him, Shakur is like, hey, Shakur, like you never fought a dude like this, right? Like he's all about like I want the best, give him to me.
Shakur looks so bothered when he gets
like that. And he kept telling him like, oh, he's the best you ever had, right? So it's good to see, the young dudes trying to figure themselves out to try to prove who's next in line. Do I believe the winner of that fight will be the next face of boxing? No, not necessarily, but it's a good start, right? It's a good start because they're in good divisions, right? Like you talk about Shakur moves up to 140. Dude, you got now freaking Lamont Roach, Pitbull Cruz fighting. You have Devin Haney. You have Jose Valenzuela.
At some point, we're going to throw Ryan Garcia back in that mix.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's still a little iffy. Yeah. Right, and you move up back to 147. Brian Norman's not a huge name right now, but dude is slowly making his name. He's like another like low level unknown Crawford back in the day, right? Or even a Spence. Boots at 154, right? So is there a lot of potential for these younger dudes to make a name for themselves? Yes, but it has to start now. Now that you're literally going to lose the face of boxing within the next 2 years, no matter what. The way I see it is Canelo's retiring in the next 2 years regardless. Crawford most likely is done, right? So those are two huge names that are out.
Usyk's on
That's what I'm about to say. And then you look at who else is at the top, ready to leave. Usyk's done. AJ's done. Wilder's done. Fury's done, right? Like the names
We're watching a chapter.
Exactly. So it's like now it's like we really have to know who's next.
He's right here. I'm just saying. He's always been right here.
Virgil.
Talking about John Appetite, boy.
Here we go. Anyways.
He just doesn't want to accept it.
He needs to make a name for himself. And Usyk, you're a huge believer that he can be Usyk and him. You and Usyk right now with all the momentum, the torch will pass on.
That'll be the fight to make.
But it's not going to happen.
And I like Usyk. You know I do.
I love you too.
Thanks,
sorry,
buddy.
I just wanted to say that because I felt I liked what I saw this weekend as far as like.
Well, like for example, and I just want to.
And I don't know if you saw freaking Crawford telling Teofimo sign the contract at the press conference.
Teofimo loses to Crawford so bad.
No. Because he told Teofimo, "Yo, are you gonna fight my little brother?"
Oh, Shakur.
Yeah, and and Teofimo was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm the one asking for the fight." And Crawford was like, "Cool, sign the contract right now."
That's what I'm saying.
And they started going at it at the press.
Crawford's a different kind of cat. You don't want to shit talk Crawford. Crawford's the kind of guy to like tear down your fucking door down and drink a beer in front of your face and sit on your couch and say do something about it. But anyways, to your point, they were talking about a fight like Vargas Jr. and Colin Walsh is the perfect fight where we see prospects to see who can rise to the cream of the crop. Is it over for Vargas Jr.? No. He's got potential. Like, the dude's got some good redeeming qualities about his style. He's not the best Vargas, brother. That title belongs to Emiliano.
Oh, and I forgot about Emiliano. Emiliano's another young cat that has, with the name that he has behind him, he has a lot of potential to make some real noise coming up the ranks if he starts taking on great opposition a little
The
sooner.
Vargas brothers are like the Lonzo Ball or the Ball brothers. Like Fernando Vargas has turned into LeVar Ball. He just doesn't talk as much as him. But yes, like Emiliano's a good example. Fernando, to his credit, I know he's 28. He's got to make something happen soon.
I mean, this was his first attempt because he wasn't even ranked, and he fought a top 15 fighter. Came short, but he did prove, even though he wasn't ranked, he deserves to be starting to fight some top level positions because he didn't do bad. He just couldn't put it together to beat Walsh.
I think Vargas Jr. would have been a perfect final fight at 160 for Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a good fight.
That would have been a good fight.
But yeah, like these are the kinds of fights that we're starting to see in boxing that we need more. We need more of like elite talent or whatever tier talent to like how he
just
said,
make noise.
Make some noise because you can't be like Canelo where it's like your turn,
exactly,
your turn. Because now look at that. Canelo lost. Crawford is on his throne now. But what's left? Because like there's nobody left. Like because now any opposition Crawford beats at 168. Canelo already softened up.
Yep.
That's the bottom line.
Yep. So, and if you're young and you want to be someone great, there's never been a better time for you to just take over the market. Like it's open market. You
better start talking shit.
Especially now that a lot of the promotional companies are shifted. You see, Top Rank is moving to the Zone, and then you have Matchroom at the Zone, right? PBC is a little iffy. Like they have a deal with Amazon, but I think PBC so far has been the biggest loser because they don't have a lot of backing. But you got someone like TKO Boxing now making a lot of noise, right?
Pay-per-view's dead.
Pay-per-view's dead, dude. Like if there's ever been a time that you're gonna get a lot of exposure, it's now. And I think within the next year, 2 years, we're probably gonna see a big shift on promotions, and we're probably gonna see the next potential face of boxing come out of this.
I'm glad you reminded me. Oscar De La Hoya. I know you're never going to watch this, but if it somehow gets through the wormhole and you get to this video, let me tell you something. I'm a fan of your career. But you a bitch ass nigga, right? I'm going to have to bleep out that last part. But because you are such a fucking pissed off ex-girlfriend. Like, you are the definition of a fucking female ex-clinger who used to just suck Canelo's dick. And now, because it's not in your mouth no more, you're pissed.
Especially after these huge fights in the last couple of years.
You see what that bitch posted on social media?
No.
He posted a video of himself laughing. He's like, I told you guys. I told you guys. It's Clapback Thursday. Stupid ass.
Hey, to be fair, those Clapback Thursdays are funny.
Dude's like an annoying uncle. Like, we know he's gay. By the way, can we please have a moment of silence for Ricky Hatton? There's only one Ricky Hatton. R.I.P. my dude. Passed away. I'm not sure if you knew that. Causes of it, we're not sure, but it sounds like potential overdose. Dude had been suffering a lot from mental health issues. He's one of the greatest of all time in his era. He had great fights with Pacquiao and Mayweather, and we're sorry for his loss and condolences to him and his family. So, other than that, though, that's been the video.
I just want to touch real quick. I just want to pivot, because we didn't have anything too crazy in UFC, but I did want to talk about UFC real quick.
Man.
Because it was a little early throughout the day, so I know a lot of people might have not seen it. But
so caught up, I forgot.
Yeah, I didn't want to go by and not give Diego Lopez his props. So we saw, what's it called, Noche de what?
UFC Noche.
UFC Noche, right? Throughout the day, right before the Canelo event started. And Diego Lopez finishes off Gene Silva and officially beats the last fighting nerd to go down. But I think compared to all the other nerds, I think this one might have been the best performance against one of the nerds.
Yeah.
Because from round one, Diego Lopez showed huge dominance against Gene. And Gene landed some gnarly shots on Diego. And again, fucking Diego proving he has a fucking iron chin, bro. Iron chin.
When he says he's Mexican bred,
yeah,
he ain't lying. That fool looks like he went to like the temple in Oaxaca and he came out just saying, Viva Mexico, cabrones!
Yeah, dude, like Diego Lopez really cemented that he is deserving of that spot that he had. I honestly
Do
believe.
you claim him?
Oh yeah,
Is he one
100%,
of us?
100%. And even though he came short against Volk, again, Volk is one of those generational, so you cannot put that against Diego because I promise you, Diego is the next dude to take over those divisions.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure. I think Diego's gonna be like the ambassador of 145 at some point. To touch on the fighting nerds, Gene Silva probably had the. It's between him and Rufy for like the worst.
Yeah, because Rufy did
outcome.
get choked out. You're right.
But what it was with Kyle and Carlos is that they still went to war.
Yeah,
You know,
because
Carlos
even
showed up.
Kyle, after his loss, like, dude, again, he looked like he deserves. He's exciting, right? Like,
They're young,
yeah, and then Rufy and Gene kind of just got their asses beat.
and they're the ones who are probably like the most violent ones.
Yeah, because they were saying that even Gene, because they were saying Rufy was overall just like complete.
The Taporia killer at some
Yeah,
point.
and Rufy spoke very highly of Gene because they're the ones who are very close. You know, they're good friends or whatever. Mm-hmm. And to see them, both of them go out like that.
I mean, it just speaks. Hopefully, it also humbles them a little bit because they are of the fighting nerds. Those two are the ones that kind of like mouth off the most.
Yeah.
Good for marketing. I mean, look what it's done for Gene Silva. I think they're young enough to learn. All four of them are young enough to learn. It seems like they have a good fighting environment where they train at. They have built a brotherhood. That's always phenomenal to have in any kind of sport. So if all four can learn from their mistakes, they can still be the future of the sport.
Yep.
Like at some point, we're probably gonna like of the four, one of them is bound to be champion. Like we're gonna have a nerd champion at one point. But to give Diego his flowers, absolutely deserving of a title shot. If not, handle your business with Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
We really got some civil war going on. And what do Mexicans do the best? Fight each other.
Yep.
So, Diego, you're not Mexican blood, but you're Mexican love. Regardless. You're like Randy Arozarena. We claim you. All right. So other than that, though, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already, like I said in the beginning of the video, hit the like, share,